welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you'll love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This will be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Remember that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. And it is a good idea to keep an empty cup when you are on Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up. All are welcome on the channel. All contributions are highly appreciated. Collective, we're starting off with Shasta's divine script. It says the goddess of writing and record keeping preserves knowledge. Okay. So with this card, I'm picking up on the energy of someone who needs to go within, who needs to tap into their inner niggle, their inner wiggle. There's someone who could possibly need to do some grounding work or some meditation or just some simple reflection. Not spending the whole day, just some time out of your day and reflecting on all of the positive things you have overcame in your life, in your journey. And with that positive, I'm pretty sure there will be some things that were negative as well. Because these are things that you had to overcome at one point or a time or another. But there's a need for you to remember and reflect on all the things you have overcome, whether it was a relationship, whether it was maybe working at a job that you felt weren't respecting you, weren't honoring you, whether it was a relationship with a family member, with a sibling, with a cousin, a relationship with your parental figure, any kind of situation that you have overcame, meaning you were able to find a solution, a resolution. You were able to make peace. You were able to rise above and move forward with your life, okay? Meaning that the situation did not cause you any hindrance, but it caused you to learn and grow. It led you to find the light when you were going through the darkness. There's a need for someone to reflect on this energy if you're not into meditation. If you don't want to get out and do any grounding work, Spirit is saying the least you could give yourself at least some time to go into reflection, because there's a lot of wonderful, great things that you have overcame. And because at this time you are not where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be, and things aren't happening as swift and fast as you would like them to happen. Things aren't arriving in the shape and the look and the form that you want them to arrive. And so Spirit wants to keep you in mind, to remind yourself, the same energy that was present to bless you, to assist you, to comfort you in your time of need in your past, whether it was your childhood, whether you were in your 20s, your 30s, doesn't matter what your age was, for you to reflect on that energy, all of the favor, the blessings and the opportunities, including being able to hear this video, the gift of hearing, being able to hear, walk, talk, speak, think for yourself, being able to read, having a home, having a vehicle, having a job. There's a lot of things to be grateful for, okay? If you have a healthy family around you as well, that is something to be grateful for. Grateful for your children, grateful for your spouse, grateful for the clothes on your back, grateful for the food. There's a need for someone to go very deep and to remind themselves of all that they have overcame, and to also consider that they did not do it alone. Does not matter what your belief system is, all are welcome on this channel. But there's a need for someone to go in very deep and not forget. And also remember that we are put here on planet Earth, the school of life, to do some learning, to do some elevating and some accelerating. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But when you are able to get up and dust your shoulders off and try again, that is something to be grateful for as well. Okay? The next card we have here is maternal care. It says the protective and nurturing embrace of the hippopotamus goddess, maternal care. So there could be someone who may have experienced some kind of lack or hardship or some kind of negative imprint that has been left on their spirit, in their aura due to some kind of maternal trauma or some kind of maternal disconnect. Maybe you didn't feel that you were loved or honored by your maternal figure. Maybe you felt disconnected from your parents or your guardianship or whomever who was close to you as a small child or a teenager who was supposed to protect you and support you. Maybe you were hurt by these people Maybe this is something that you are holding on to. This is something that has not been healed. And Spirit is saying that this is a good time and a fine time, and it's never too late to do the healing work. When we speak of healing, we're not talking about calling anyone, pulling up to their house, text messaging them, and DMing them and trying to be confrontational or creating conflict. We're not talking about going on social media, trying to blurt out what happened, because the audience on social media, they are there, but that will not be a good way for you to heal. The best way for you to heal is to do it between you and source and the divine, whatever your belief system is. All are welcome on this channel, as I once stated. But for you to truly, authentically, 10 toes down, to forgive yourself and those who have those who have hurt you, those who have inflicted pain on you. Yes, it was wrong. Spirit is not saying for you to forget, but they want to show you how to move past it so that you will not have blockages and stagnation in your life. I'm talking to someone, this may not be for everybody, but somebody who is holding on to some kind of maternal pain, some kind of disconnect they have with their parent or maybe their grandparent. Okay, maybe you were adopted. That's for someone, not for everyone. And maybe you just didn't feel connected or that you belong. Trust and know that we are all here and we have our own unique, individually divine creation within ourselves, and we have our own mission and contract to fulfill while we are here. And so you did make the agreement, whether you remember it or not, to come here, to come through your family in particular, your lineage, to complete your journey, your contract, to fulfill your duties. But it is time for you to release. Forgive yourself. Do not be so hard on yourself, and forgive those who have hurt you. Now, when I speak of forgive those who have hurt you, we're not talking about you going to have tea, biscuits, and crumpets with anyone who has hurt you or harmed you, but you authentically, wholeheartedly forgiving them and surrendering the pain that may have been imprinted or inflicted upon you, choosing to surrender it and release it and allow the healing to begin, and finding a light in the situation. You know how to transmute your pain, how to turn that pain into pleasure, how to turn that salt into sugar. And so Spirit is saying this is a time for you to release that. It is not a good idea to carry this burden with you. It is not a good idea for you to continue the cycle. I'm picking up a cycle. Maybe there is some kind of habit in your family or in your lineage where the siblings have some kind of conflict with their parental figures. Maybe it's you and a couple of other cousins. Confirmation with the training background. Maybe it's you and a few other cousins or family members who don't get along with their parents. The relationship, the rapport isn't so positive, but you can break that cycle and you can forgive someone wholeheartedly without being in contact with them. You don't have to start dealing with them again. I know you've been taught that and you think that, but this is where you allow the unlearning to occur. When you are ready to be open, when you are ready to forgive, that's when you will allow the unlearning to occur. The next card we have here is means fertility. It says the God of virtuality and abundance ensures fruitful harvest and procreation. And so this is what you are looking for. This is what you have been hoping for. When I was just speaking of someone that is getting kind of frustrated because things are happening, but they're not arriving as you have expected. And so Spirit is saying that all that you desire when it comes to abundance and prosperity, not just in finances, but in your connections, how you communicate, how you move about in life, how you deal with people, how you choose to judge people. Be mindful of what you put out must come back and return to you. So be mindful with passing judgment. Spirit is saying that's for somebody. As you go through this healing process, be patient with yourself and be easy on yourself. Your healing process, your path, your mission, your desires do not have to look like anyone else's around you. Therefore, there is no need to look to your left or your right. We do not have to focus on imitating or duplicating someone else's life. You may admire or be encouraged by something or someone that you see, and that is wonderful. But your life and your experiences does not have to duplicate or imitate anyone else's idea, or image. Your journey is personal. It's between you and source. It is an individual. It's a solo project. Okay. All right. So you're the one holding the microphone. You are the captain of the ship. You are the pilot. You do have a say so. You have a say so on how you move about moving forward. You have a say so on whether or not you're going to choose to do the forgiving of yourself and those who may have left you with any kind of pain. You have a choice. You have a say so. Okay. You have a say so if you're going to move forward or continue to talk about what happened 15 or 20 years ago. But when you're speaking about it, you're speaking about it in rage. I'm picking up on someone who gets so upset that their veins, okay, protrudes out of their neck. You know, you're always upset. You're always screaming, sometimes becoming emotional because you're hurt. But that is not the way to heal. And that is not the way to get your point across. The best thing you can do is communicate with source. The best thing you do is do some meditation, do some grounding work, speak to a licensed professional. If you need to speak to someone, a life coach, a pastor, someone you can confide in, but it's time for you to move past it, because the next time you tell your story, you don't need to be telling your story, out of, resentment and maybe draining yourself and, crying, screaming and foaming at the mouth, but really telling your story as a testimony of how you overcame and chose to forgive and move forward. And once again, when I speak of forgiveness on my channel, I'm not speaking of pulling up to their house and maybe playing cards with them and having tea and crumpets. No, I'm talking about you honestly, wholeheartedly surrendering what you have experienced and choosing to allow the healing process to begin, choosing to surrender what no longer serves you, coming to an understanding that it can create and inflict stagnation on your spirit, on your mind, and on your heart. You do not want to inflict those blockages on your life and stay in a time capsule with the woe is me and the pity party. You do not want to perish from planet Earth with the shoulda, woulda, coulda theory. I wonder what would have happened if I would have forgave so-and-so. I wonder what would have happened if I would have started that business, if I would have went back to school. I wonder what would have happened. I should have, I would have, and I could have, but I didn't. You don't want to perish from planet Earth with that theory, okay? The next card we have here is Bassette's blessing. It says the feline goddess bestows love, joy, and protection. So Spirit is clearly letting you know that you are protected. There's no need for you to be anxious. Do not feed the fears. We know fear is false evidence appearing real. Never, ever feed the fears. Never move out of fear, okay? Never move out of fear. Be mindful of your intentions of anything that you choose to engage in or involve yourself in, but you are protected. That the energy of Bassett is here to let you know that there's a presence of joy in love waiting for you, and you are protected through this process. You can release your anger. You can release the idea of being hostile. And I'm also picking up on someone who wants to fight. You're so angry and you're so hurt. You want to fight. You're ready to knock somebody out. Calm it down. Maybe you need to do some breath work. If you're not into meditation, why don't you start off with doing some breath work? Why don't you start off with doing some research on breath work? Why don't you get some books? Maybe go to the library, maybe go to the library, or maybe purchase you some books on breath work, okay? Do some research on that. But if you need to speak to someone who is maybe certified or licensed, whatever works for you, whatever is comfortable for you, because I understand that everything does not work for everyone, but find something that is fitting for you and let the healing begin. And we're not talking about getting on the phone and screaming at anyone. We're not talking about going to anyone's house and getting to a confrontation, but we're talking about honestly, wholeheartedly moving past it, letting it go and letting it flow. The first card we have here is the Page of Wands. So it's time for you to allow the healing to begin, as I said, and become a student of yourself. Become a master of yourself. Take your time and energy on doing the healing work and finding out what is it that you are desiring moving forward. Utilize your currency, aka your time collective, to find out what is it that makes you feel fulfilled. What is it that makes you smile? What would you like to put your energy towards? What is it on a daily that you can wake up each and every day and do when it doesn't feel like work? Is there a passion project that you would like to partake in? Is there some kind of business that you would like to get off the ground? Are you interested in taking a class, learning a new dance? I don't know, learning how to crochet. Maybe you want to be a hairstylist, a barber, whatever it is for you. Is there something on your heart or on the back of your mind that you visualize or that you just imagine yourself doing? Whatever that thing is, Spirit is saying this is a great time while you're going through this healing process to focus your energy on that. Prepare to embark on a new journey. It is time for healing with the King of Cups. Okay? It is time for healing. It is time for you to master yourself and sit on your throne while doing it and enjoy the process of learning about you. Who you are, your true nature, standing in your authenticity is going to require you're going to have a desire to want to do something different. You're going to have a desire maybe for a different appetite. Spirit is saying maybe your palate may change. You may have a different liking of what kind of foods that you like. Okay. You may want to change your environment of what kind of places that you want to hang out in. These things may change, and these are natural things. So be patient with yourself. Be patient with this process. This is not a race, it is a journey. It is continuous, but be easy and be gentle with yourself. Okay. The King of Cups here, no one gets to a throne without earning their right of passage. And because you are confirmation, because you are doing the work and you have earned the right to be here on this throne. Be easy with yourself. You have put in the work. You've got the whole world in your hands. Okay. You've got the whole world in your hands, and you can see that right there, that little figumentation there. Okay, so be easy with yourself. This reading right here is pertaining to someone who's holding a lot of heavy things on their heart, things they have not overcame, things they may want to talk to their parental figure about, or someone in the family. If it's not a parental figure, it could be a relative or maybe someone outside of the family. There's some things that have been done to you. There's some things that you have experienced that has been very harsh and cruel. And Spirit is saying you don't have to speak to that person. And I keep picking that up because that person may not be ready, but there is a way to honestly, wholeheartedly forgive yourself and that person and move forward without ever contacting them again and loving them from a distance, leaving them where they are, because you cannot force anyone's hand, especially if they're not ready. Okay. Trying to force someone who is not ready to have those kind of conversations, nor are they on your vibration. It will create more friction. Spirit is saying that's for somebody. Somebody wants to know why. Why did I say that? Spirit is saying it will create increasingly more friction and you will get nowhere. It will turn into a ping pong conversation. It's like the ping pong ball goes back and forth. It will go and it will like stagnate your process. Okay. So the next card we have here is the Wheel of Fortune. The whole goal, that is being communicated is for the Wheel of Fortune to arrive in your life and turn at its right time. And because this card has presented itself, this is Spirit confirming that this is your time. So don't miss out. Do not miss your opportunity. Okay? Eminem, you better use yourself. Okay? Once in a lifetime. You better utilize this moment. Do not miss your opportunity. Do not. Just simply forgive, and you can do this, and you're probably saying how, I'll give you a little bit on that. You can simply just use your heckle, use your voice, just communicate to source, just communicate to the creator that you forgive yourself and you forgive that person, that has inflicted that pain or that hurt on you. I don't care what it is, and confirm it with your voice. Confirm it out loud, verbally, into the ethers. Confirm it. If you have to do a burning bowl ritual, do that as well and surrender it. Surrender it, and on top of that, find some things to also, it's time to get into some meditation. It's time to get into some work to align the chakras as well and do some grounding work as well right behind that. There's many things you can do, but find what works for you. Do research. I'm not trying to diagnose. We don't do, on this channel or tell you what to do. I just mention ideas and hopefully they create a spark in you and you find your own direction in which you would like to pivot in your own timing. Okay. All right. This is a spiritual notification. All right. And so I love this card that is here. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is a death card. Okay. So you are someone around, you could have Scorpio placement, but it is time to say bye-bye. In order, if you're going to, experience and witness this wheel of fortune, it is only right that the death card would be here, to present that there's a cleanup. There's a cleanup, as he's sweeping it away with that tool there. I don't know what they call that tool there, but he's sweeping away some things, getting rid of some things. So it's time to surrender those old feelings, those old thoughts, those old emotions. It's time to have a deep release and cleansing, and maybe find a way to routinely cleanse and release, okay? And be easy on yourself. Possibly get you a journal as well. Journaling would be good for you. That's for somebody, okay? Journaling would be good for you. The next card we have here is the Lovers. But as I hold the Lovers card, you see two people on here. But these two people that I see, I'm not thinking of a couple here. This energy of the Lovers card is the energy of you in the present and the past, embracing each other and coming into harmony in order to meet and receive this Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to place it right on top of the Wheel of Fortune. The Lover's energy, let me show you again with these two people in this read, is conveying you past or present, male or female, gender is fluid, and tarot. So we're speaking metaphorically here, okay? It's the past you and the future you, embracing each other and coming into harmony so that you don't miss out on this opportunity of this Wheel of Fortune turning and changing in your favor, okay? So that you are in alignment, so that you don't miss out on opportunities or miss out on the possibility of having a loving connection with reciprocity. And so the next card we have here is the Six of Cups. And with the Six of Cups energy, I'm picking up to be mindful, be mindful of past energy. If you're out and about, you're running errands and maybe you see someone, it's okay to speak, but, you don't know what people's been up to. You haven't been in contact with them for a while. Everyone handles life differently. This is for someone. So be mindful. It's okay to speak, but to always exchange numbers and try to moonwalk or reverse yourself and go back into all these old karmic doors and cycles is just not a good idea. Pulling up to old friend's house, driving past old addresses, all those things, it's just not a good idea. You don't know what people have been through, and you don't know, how they have handled what they have been through. Okay. And folks have so much ish going on. I'm telling you, folks will flick that on you, like flicking a booger out of their nose. Like seriously. Yes, I said a booger. A person will take their trauma, their anger, and try to flick it on you. Okay. A total stranger or someone they haven't seen in years. Okay. Let me get some water. Yes. So be mindful of this. It's okay to say hi and bye and leave it right there. How's the family doing? Great, and keep it moving. Okay, you've experienced them. You've been there. You've done that. It's not about being cruel. It's about standing in your authenticity and not allowing anyone or anything to get in your way. That's what it's about. Okay. Actual and factual. It's about practicing self-preservation. It's about confirming to source and to the universe that you are ready to move forward. Sending out that signal of what you want to magnetize unto you. Sending out that signal of what you want to magnetize towards you. Letting them know that you are done. You don't want to send out a signal, or maybe an ex or someone you dealt with in the past. It wasn't so pleasant, but you're choosing to constantly link up with them. Well, you're sending out the signal that you don't want new energy in your life. And then often a lot of people just wonder, I don't know why I keep beating the same people. I don't know why I keep, because it's something that you have to change. It's something you have to stop allowing. Okay. The next card I have here is the Chariot, okay? And with the Chariot energy, there's an energy of balance being restored, coming back into your life. Okay? Balance being restored and coming back into your life. Okay? This is a feeling and a sensation. Spirit is saying you have not felt in a long time. It's been a long time coming. Maybe you have thought that you'll never ever have this feeling of having balance restored, not having anxiety. There are people who spend each and every day full of anxiety and worry and frustration. Doesn't matter who you are, what your tax bracket is, all we can do is surrender. That's all we can do, as we are humans, in this avatar that we wear, we can only do what we can. Trust that there's a higher power. Doesn't matter what your belief system is. Okay. You'll hear me say that a lot. All are welcome on this channel. But you have to trust that there's a higher power working for you on your behalf. You have to trust, that your ancestors are working with you and your guardians are working with you. Okay. You can only do what you can with these two hands, and you have to surrender in divine timing. Everything will arrive and work out just fine, even when you don't know the outcome, because we don't need to know everything. Life would not be life if we knew all the answers right away. Okay. The next card we have here is Justice. So you or someone around you could be a Libra. So Spirit is saying, give yourself the justice, give yourself the time, be good to you, with the lovers and justice out here. It's time to pour that love into yourself, be unapologetic about it. Feel free to use the word no. Okay. You're going to have to hurt some feelings. You're going to have to let some people know what you ain't having, what ain't going on. You may have a few people maybe reaching out to you, and you have to let them know, no, thank you. I'm not interested, and this is for somebody. You may get someone telling you, oh, come on, you acting funny. Oh, come on. No, thank you. No, and no, thank you. All is well. No, thank you. And all is well. Good day. Good day. And with the Nine of Cups, this is your time to, like I said, regaining your stability, being in harmony. And that's what the Lover's card is about, your past and present self. The old you, the new, the current you, and the future you. Okay, if I said that right, meshing together so that you can regain that balance, that Chariot energy, with that white and black horse there, these Nine of Cups, reaffirming that you will be stable, able, and capable. A change is coming. So hold on. But I'm speaking to someone who is willing and has decided to do the work that is necessary, in order to obtain these Nine of Cups, in order to reap this justice. Okay. You're willing to do the work. You will receive the balance that this Chariot energy is providing, will be presenting on your path, feeling comfortable, waking up with a smile, not living in a household that's full of friction and hostility. There are people who live in households where on a daily, there's arguing, there's friction, there's anger. There are couples who sleep together and they grunt and grime at each other, mean mug each other. Those kind of things, it's just not pleasant. It's not healthy. And it's not good. Doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter whether you're wealthy or not. But the best thing you can do is just whatever's going on with you, wherever you are at in life, whatever your zip code is, be grateful and do the best you can. Okay. If there is really more going on than what you think, there are people who are really living their life each and every day. There are people who are really grateful each and every day. And it's not all about the money. The money will come naturally. It's just energy. Yes, it gets you what you want, but it's not just about the money. It's the little things. It's the in-between things, Spirit is saying. It's the little bitty things, the things that you look over, the things that we discount, the things that we think don't matter. Being able to respect each other, being kind to each other, being grateful, even to total strangers. Even when maybe the food is low in the fridge, being grateful that there's something there, whether it's toast and a cup of water, even if you are down to your last 20 in your bank account, being grateful that you have that 20. More is coming, but being grateful. Let's talk about it. Nothing stays the same forever. There's nothing for you to focus on that strong, that tough, Take care of your business, plan, plot, and strategize. Handle your business, but you don't need to focus on it so much to where you're confirming like it will never change. No, it will change. Nothing stays the same forever. So hold on, change is coming. You can make it. Don't make me sing the song. Everything will be all right. Hold on. Empress. Empress. You are abundant. Okay? In that energy, that maybe that maternal toxicity or that maternal trauma that you may have with your parental figure or someone whom you have a negative relationship with, maybe because they're just dysfunctional, so you're unable to establish a serious connection. You could be a full-grown adult now, and the things they have done to you, it can't be overturned because we can't go back to the past. But Spirit is saying you will be presented and fulfilled with all the love that you feel that you did not receive. You will be fulfilled. Don't worry about the how. It just is. That's how good and that's how powerful Source is. Let's not worry about the how. It just is because you're going to do the work. You're going to do the work. In order to get the Empress energy, nurturing, caring, abundant, loving, kind, you're going to do the work. And because you are doing the work with momentum over time, these things, people, places, and things will be strategically being prepared to meet you halfway, to cross your path, for you to experience these kind of connections. You know? And so the next card we have here is the Hanged Man. So you can come out. You could come out. This hangman energy represents you being in a position of pain, just trying to gather why, maybe asking yourself why, why was I treated different? Why didn't maybe your parental figure protect you or express or show love, as a parent should. But unfortunately, you're not the only one, and I'm not trying to make it okay nor condone whatever you went through because it could be many different things, okay? But Spirit is saying it's okay to let go, and you can come out now. You can come out and surrender this and move forward because you do deserve to be loved wholeheartedly. You do deserve to be nurtured and cared for. The Empress energy is here to confirm it, so that you can stand in your authority. I'm paying attention to the pose and how this person, male or female, is holding this wand here, standing in authority. The wand represents willpower and life force, having passion, utilizing your personality, your ego, your creativity, and all those things are going to help you through your healing process. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of people who go through hardships and pains, they usually find a way to transmute that energy. A lot of time it's through creativity. Just like a person surrendering a vice that they may have been addicted to. They usually pick up another habit, but they try to form a positive habit. Some people may take a class, a cooking class, a dance class, go back to school. They may find a hobby that they love, They may begin to work out more. They may focus on their health inside and out. And so with this willpower in this Empress card, I'm picking up on someone who's going to tap into their creativity. You're going to use your creative abilities, those talents and those skills, because we all are born with more than one. Doesn't matter who you are. You're going to tap into that creativity and you're going to utilize that. You're going to, whether it's drawing, whether you paint, whatever you do, you crochet, you sew, you do hair, you're a barber, you're a nail tech. Okay. Maybe you're a wonderful chef. You could be a writer. Maybe there's a book you want to write. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's some things around your home that you want to do. You've been thinking about it. You haven't got to it. Well, while you're going through this process, one thing at a time, and Spirit wants you to take your time, be patient with yourself, even as you are working on these creative projects, to take your time. Do a little here and a little there, a little here and a little there. Nothing has to be done overnight. Nothing has to be done instantly. Okay? And so the next card that we have, and which I love, is the star card. Okay. Oh, I have to cover this up. The star card. You are the star. And so it's time for you to shine bright. You may not feel like you're the star, but you are the star. This is your true nature. This is what the whole process of you healing and forgiving yourself, forgiving them, speaking to someone, a pastor, a life coach, a licensed professional, a therapist, a psychologist, whoever you need to speak to. It's okay to reach out for help, okay? But it's time for you to go ahead and let your light shine and let it shine bright. Authentically, unapologetically. You deserve it. You've earned the right. You're going to do the work. You're going to do the work. Congratulations, because I know you're going to do the work. And it's being confirmed again. Temperance, balance. You or someone around you could have Sagittarius placement. Balance. You are restoring the balance and harmony in your life. You are restoring it. The Chariot. I told you that represents balance coming into your life. Balance. What balance? Okay. In the love. Balance. You are restoring the balance and the love and harmony in your life. Simply beautiful. Simply beautiful. So this concludes the read, and I trust and hope that it assists you for your highest good. Later.